sent him. So I called. I let the dispatcher know what was going on. I let them know that he had already threatened me twice.
I mean, at some point, he would have to come here.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Like I told the dispatcher, like, I don't mind y'all talking to him.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be around while y'all talking.
Right. So, listen, here's what I explained to him.
Okay.
You know, you guys are adults. So, you know, you're obviously both trying to provide a safe space for your children.
I don't think so, though. Because like I told her, he's walking around the house waving his gun that I purchased. Like, he didn't start making any threats last night. He had the gun. So I told her I discounted it to the fact that he was out all day yesterday and Taco Tuesday drinking. So, I mean, I was like, maybe, you know, if we go to sleep. But today he woke up with the same shenanigans. And everything, all of this is in front of my daughter. Like, that's the issue that I have. You say, like, we're adults trying to provide a safe space.
Well, I'm not
and
saying
he's
that.
not trying to create that environment for his daughter or mine.
Listen, what I'm saying is, let's try to let cooler heads prevail, rational minds prevail. And if this isn't a good situation for you, start to make a transition into another situation.
Well, he cut my credit cards off and cleaned out my bank account.
What I'm saying is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Well, I mean, maybe he could go. But I pay the rent here. I have receipts. I've been paying the rent here since I moved here.
Okay.
With no help from him.
Well, if you're going to continue to abide here and live here,
I'm not abiding by anything. I live here, and I have the right to stay here peacefully.
Yeah,
without being threatened.
Listen,
I didn't make any threats to him. I didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, hear me out. Just hear what I'm saying. Okay? I'm not trying to argue with you.
I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm just trying to make sure
if you're going to be here, and if it's not a good situation, start making the process transition out somewhere else or do something else. Or
did you make the same suggestion?
I told him the exact same thing.
Okay.
So
I'm telling you the same thing.
what my partner's trying to say is that if you legitimately don't feel like this is a good living situation for you, then for me, if I was in a situation that wasn't good for me, I would want to get out.
Okay,
But
look, hear me out though.
You're saying
I'm
gonna
here.
stay.
I just got here. I don't have a relative's house I could go to. He wants to be here in the heat of this situation. Like I said, his dad owns 4 houses on this block. He could go to his granny house. He could go anywhere. You said cooler heads prevail. He's not trying to get out of this situation. He's trying to create an uncomfortable situation for me.
And we begin 2 News First at 4 with that breaking news. A woman and her daughter found dead in a Dayton home.
Police have been on the scene since just before noon today. And 2 News reporter Allison Gens is live for us now. Allison, police just gave an update on the investigation. What have we learned?
Yeah, John, Brooke just spoke with police moments ago, and they tell us that they found the woman and young girl around noon today, and currently they don't have any information on a suspect. Now, police were called for a welfare check at a home, and when they entered to the home on Burleigh Avenue, they found a woman and little girl dead. Police immediately suspected a crime and called in their homicide unit to investigate. Major Jason Hall says investigators do believe a firearm was involved. The victim's names and ages have not yet been identified. Major Hall says it's not often a welfare check turns into a situation like this one.
Most of the time we get a welfare check, we show up and have a conversation. Sometimes we refer some folks to services, especially when it comes in the case of elderly people. But no, it's not common that a welfare check results in this type of situation.
And right now, police do not have information on a suspect. Anyone who does have information is asked to contact Dayton Police at 333-COPS or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 222-STOP. Live in Dayton, Allison Gens, 2 News, working for you.
On June 23rd, 2022, Aisha Nelson contacted 911 dispatch in Dayton, Ohio about a dispute she had with her boyfriend. 2 police officers arrived at Burleigh Avenue to figure out what was going on. That's when Aisha explained to the officers that her boyfriend threatened her with a gun. The male officer that arrived on the scene went to go talk to 32-year-old Waverly Halls, who also went by the name Dante. The female officer stayed outside and talked to Aisha Nelson. That's when Aisha explained to her that this is not the first time that her boyfriend threatened her with a gun. She also feared for the safety of not only herself, but her 6-year-old daughter as well. The female officer asked Aisha if she could leave the house for the night. She She told her that she couldn't because she's actually from New Jersey. She moved to Ohio to live with Dante. Plus, she also paid the rent within the home. Once the male officer reappeared, he assured Nelson that he spoke to Dante and Dante would stay in the basement for the night. Aisha said okay, and that's when the officers left. At approximately 12 a.m., Aisha called back, but this time it was from a convenience store. She asked the officers if they could meet her there because he threatened her again and she's in fear of safety for herself and her daughter. When officers arrived, she told them that she would like to file a police report just in case something happens to her that night. The reason officers did not arrest Dante during the first call was because they did not have reasonable suspicion of the direct domestic violence. Unfortunately, after 12 a.m., that was the last time that officers nor anyone would see Aisha and her daughter alive. No one else, of course, but Dante. At approximately 7 or 8 a.m. the next morning, Dante explained to his father that he did something bad. He shot and killed Aisha, and he also killed her 6-year-old daughter, Harper. That's when the father called 911 dispatch and asked for a welfare check. This is when officers found the deceased bodies of Aisha and Harper lying within the house. Unfortunately, Dante, the alleged killer, was nowhere to be found. Further on in the day, Dante would be found in Alabama from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Aisha Nelson's family is filing a wrongful death lawsuit stating police failed to protect Nelson and her daughter from physical and emotional harm, resulting in the needless yet tragic death. As of February 2023, the 2 officers that arrived were suspended for 160 hours. They received written reprimands and are required to attend an extensive domestic violence refresher training. Not only that, but they also must attend technical training as it pertains to domestic related calls. In my opinion, I feel like that's BS. I honestly feel like that they should be having more of a suspension and more should be handled, especially after viewing the body cam footage and viewing how they handled the situation as a whole. It was very careless. It was more so like they wanted Aisha to leave, but he can stay. It doesn't matter. Not only that, but they didn't even search for the gun within the home. They just were like, oh, well, we spoke to him and he said he's going to stay in the basement, so it should be fine. You know, we're not worried about it, so you shouldn't be. So the officers definitely failed their job on that. Also, this is a great lesson to pay attention to the red flags, because not only did he threaten Aisha with the gun, but he also threatened his baby mother with the gun, which was the woman he was with prior to Aisha. And she knew about that, but she still tried to give him chance after chance because she believed that he would change. But unfortunately, he didn't. Not only that, but just for the 6-year-old to lose her life the way she did and being caught up in this is just a sad situation. My condolences goes out to Aisha Nelson and Harper's loved ones. This is a tragic situation that goes on far too often. But please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, do what you love today because tomorrow's never promised. Peace.